Good morning, Patrick here from Complete Health. I just really wanted to kind of talk about brain health. When people speak to chiropractors, we're often thinking that we're going for back and neck and joint pains. And actually, interestingly, a lot of the time when I'm looking at a patient, yes, I'm trying to detect these kinds of problems, but the most important thing I'm looking at is brain health. Why would I say that? Well, interestingly enough, when we look at the way that the spine moves and the way that the spine works, is every single segment in the spine is working as a sensory feedback into your brain. Every single muscle within your body is working as a sensory input back into your brain. Every single skin cell on the outside of your body is working for a sensory input into your brain. So interestingly, the better we move, the better our brain is actually developed. Our brain actually needs three things to survive: glucose, oxygen, and movement. Now, interestingly, if we're not moving properly and our spine isn't, or parts of our body are not moving properly, it can start to actually have an impact on the way that the nerves start to work, because that brain is not necessarily receiving signals. And now most people will understand it. Most functions in our life are a use it or lose it type scenario. And I can use an example with many people that, for example, will have played a sport when they were younger and may be very talented at that sport, and then haven't played for a significant period of time. And then all of a sudden, when they try to go back, they don't have the same talents that they had before. However, the brain is very good at remembering these pathways and will pick them up very, very quickly again. However, as we've just discussed, nerves will forget things if you're not using them on a regular basis. Now, interestingly enough, movement in our body is exactly the same thing. So if you are not using it properly, you will be losing it. And so we can start to detect how well someone's nerves and brains are functioning by how well their body is functioning and moving as well. So I can detect from someone's body, e.g. if their posture is starting to come out, their range of motion is starting to disappear, their muscles are starting to get tense, that someone's brain function is starting to change, and their body is starting to put compensations in place to try and stabilize that change. Now, obviously, any links in change to brain function can be linked to other dysfunctions such as back pain, neck pain, joint pain, but also stuff like losses in balance, losses in range of motion, and other dysfunctions as well, which typically can start to lead to people's disability. So interestingly enough, there are things that you can be doing that will reduce your risks of these things ever taking place or happening, such as just getting up and moving on a regular basis. And that can be something as simple as taking 15 to 20 minutes every single day just to do some basic stretching. Other things such as going to the gym or going for a run, or even something as simple as going for a walk, is enough to mobilize most of the joints in your spine so that your brain is receiving that signal in through the spine, but also it's going to start to move those muscles, so your brain will start to receive signals from the muscles. It will also start to move the skin. So guess what? Your brain will start to receive signals from the skin, therefore stimulating and helping to improve the strength of your brain. When we think about exercise, often we only think about the cardiovascular and the muscle effects, but we very often forget about the effect that it has on our brain health as well. Other things you could be doing, you could be moving less, so e.g. sitting in a chair all day, every day, or sitting in your sofa all day, every day. However, if you just break that up, even just every hour as opposed to sitting there for 8 hours straight, you'll start to see significant changes in the way that your body feels as well. Now, obviously the most common thing is when this is then left too far, that's when therapy can start to significantly help people get back to that level of normal function again, e.g. stuff like chiropractic, massage, and physio, because they're all going to work on the different systems that are feeding that information back into the brain. That's why we integrate care here at Complete Health. That's why we have physios, chiropractors, and massage therapists, because the massage therapists can start to help relax the muscles that send signals back into the brain. The chiropractors can start to help move the joints and mobilize the joints that can help send the signals back into the brain. And physios can really start to teach you then how to integrate all of that movement and then stabilize it through exercise, movements, stretches, etc., so that we can start to stabilize that function and really overall improve the health of not only your body, but the way that your nerves and your brain are working as well. Always really interesting. I love brain health and neurology, so it's always really interesting for me to be able to talk to these things with my patients and clients. And so, like I say, just to summarize, keep yourself moving. Don't let yourself get stiff, because as soon as you start to get stiff, your nerves can start to get affected as well, as can your muscles, as can your joints, and it can just lead to other dysfunctions. So if you're having any problems with trying to get back to movement now that the gyms are open, please, we're here for you. If you need anything, just give us a shout. Patrick here from Complete Health, and I'll speak to you guys again tomorrow. Take care for now.